Welcome, confidential listeners, to another entry from our private archives. This is a space for the unspoken. To a city where the steeples of the cathedrals reach for heaven, but the roots of the ancient oaks drink from the rotting shadows of the swamp. Tonight, we walk the flickering, humid streets of New Orleans, a place where faith is often just a mask worn to hide a decaying soul, and the truth is buried deeper than the secrets in a voodoo Orien's iron chest. Pause 3 seconds. This is the story of Tiana, a woman who spent her youth trying to wash the city's grit from her skin, only to find that the man leading the Sunday prayer was the same man who paid for her nights in the neon-lit dark. It is a diary of a life she tried to cremate, a shocking recognition in the front pew of a holy house, and a cycle of sin that even the strongest holy water couldn't wash away. Title: I went to church to save my soul, but the pastor was the same man who paid for my nights. So, close the door, turn down the lights, and listen closely, because the audience for this truth is only you. New Orleans has two heartbeats. By day, it's the rhythmic, holy tolling of the St. Louis Cathedral bells. By night, it's the desperate neon hum of the French Quarter, smelling of spilled gin and cheap perfume. For 5 long years, I lived in the gray space between those beats. I was an escort, not the kind you see haggling under the flickering streetlights of Bourbon Street, but a consultant in a discreet, ivy-covered mansion in the Garden District. There was no sign on the door, no name on the gate, just a beautiful, decaying house where selected men, the kind with gold watches, wedding rings, and heavy secrets, came to forget their titles and their vows. To my mother, I was a dedicated night shift caregiver for a wealthy, reclusive estate. It was a lie that smelled of lavender and expensive soap, a lie that kept her medicine cabinet full and her hip surgery bills paid. I worked the 12 to 7 shift, Monday to Friday. I was a ghost in a silk robe, moving through rooms that smelled of expensive cigars and quiet regret. I thought I was in control. I thought I had built a wall high enough to keep my day life and my night life from ever touching. But in New Orleans, the humidity rots everything eventually, including the walls we build to protect our pride. I didn't know then that the light was already looking for a way in. The mansion saw the elite, judges, senators, and men who called themselves servants of the people. But there was one regular who stood out, a man who went by the name Julian. He was white, impeccably dressed in linen suits that never seemed to wrinkle, and had a voice like silk pulled over jagged gravel. He told us he was a high-profile attorney. He was charming, yes, but it was the kind of charm that felt like a spider's web, sticky, suffocating, and designed to trap the unwary. Julian had a darkness that the other girls whispered about in the kitchen. We all remember Chloe. She was young, barely 20, with eyes full of starlight and a laugh that hadn't been jaded yet. She became Julian's favorite. When she got pregnant, she didn't find a protector, she found a predator. Julian didn't offer a hand, he offered a threat and a stack of $100 bills. He forced her into a back alley procedure that went horribly wrong. I remember the night we found her bleeding out on the marble bathroom floor, her starlight extinguished. She survived, but she left the life a hollow shell, a ghost walking among the living. I had been in that room with him too, 3 times. He had fetishes that made him sweat and mutter prayers at the same time. When he stopped coming after Chloe's accident, we all breathed a sigh of relief. We thought the bayou had finally claimed its own. I never imagined those same hands that gripped my throat in the dark would one day be raised to bless my mother's head. The end of my career came on a rainy Tuesday that felt like a funeral. A panicked text from my Aunt May. My mother had fallen. She was cleaning windows, trying to keep her small house in the Treme looking respectable for the church ladies, when the old wooden ladder gave way. A fractured hip and a shattered bowl. I left the Garden District mansion that night, my heels clicking like a countdown on the wet pavement, and I never went back. I spent weeks in a hard plastic chair by her hospital bed. I watched her pray through the agonizing pain, her rosary beads clicking like a clock. For the first time, the smell of the mansion, the expensive perfume and the stale smoke, felt like a stain I couldn't scrub off no matter how much I bathed. I decided right then, under the flickering, sickly, fluorescent lights of the ward, that I was done. I wanted a life that didn't require a script. I wanted a man who looked at me with love, not a price tag. I had saved enough to keep us afloat for a year. I was going to be the daughter she thought I was. I was going to find redemption in the church pews of the Treme. Months passed. My mother was back on her feet, leaning on a polished cane, but stronger in her faith than ever. She begged me, Saturday after Saturday, to join her at the new community mission. She said the new pastor was a miracle worker, a man who had revived the dead soul of the neighborhood. I finally gave in. I put on a modest floral dress and sat in the third row, the scent of old wood and incense filling my lungs. The choir reached a deafening crescendo, and then the room went silent. A man stepped out from the shadows of the wings, draped in a snow-white robe, a heavy gold cross resting against his chest. He raised his hands, and the congregation erupted in praise. I was looking down, adjusting my purse, until my mother nudged me. "Look, Tiana, look at the prophet." I looked up, and my breath died in my throat. The air in the church felt like it turned to lead. Standing there, bathed in the divine light of the stained glass, was Julian. The linen suit was gone, replaced by holy vestments. The dark, scented room was gone, replaced by an altar of gold. But it was him, the same jawline, the same cold, predatory eyes. My attorney was a pastor. The prophet of the night was leading my mother to heaven. He started his sermon. His voice was even more polished now, dripping with these and thous, preaching about the sanctity of the flesh and the fire that awaits the unrepentant. I felt a hot, burning bile rise in my throat. This was the man who had paid for my flesh. This was the man who had ordered Chloe to disappear. Then he did what he always did. He stepped down from the pulpit to walk among the sheep. He smiled, he nodded, he laid hands on heads. I felt a cold sweat soak through my dress. As he reached our row, he leaned in to bless my mother, his hand reaching out for her forehead. And then he looked at me. Our gazes locked, and for a heartbeat, the church, the choir, and the world disappeared. And the Lord, He knows the secrets that he swallows hard, his eyes widening, that we hide in the dark. He recognized me. I saw the Garden District flash across his pupils like a lightning strike. He stuttered, he stumbled over his own holy words, and for a second I saw the idiot, the coward behind the mask. He moved away quickly, his face turning the color of ash. He spent the rest of the service avoiding my side of the room, But I didn't look away. I stayed fixed on him, a living monument to the sinner he truly was. I didn't have to wait long for the shadows to reach out. On Tuesday morning, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. I answered, and the silence on the other end was heavy with a familiar fear. "Tiana," he whispered. "It's Julian." He had called the mansion. Mrs. Gabit had given him my number, probably for a price. We met at 4 p.m. in a secluded spot near the bayou, where the cypress trees are so thick they hide the sun even at noon. He arrived in a dark sedan, no collar, looking like a man awaiting an execution. "Tiana, you have to understand. That was another life. I was lost, wandering in the wilderness. The church, it's everything to me now. My wife, my children. If they knew about Gabit's house, if they knew about the girls, it would be the end of me. I'm a changed man. I'm doing good now." He used the word changed, but as he spoke, I saw that familiar hungry glint return to his eyes. He wasn't just afraid of me. He was still attracted to the ghost of the girl he used to own for an hour. I felt a wave of rage, unadulterated anger, thinking about Chloe's broken life. But I also saw an opportunity. He wasn't just a pastor. He was a gold mine built on a foundation of lies. The irony of New Orleans is that it's built on mud. Nothing stays stable or clean for long. He began to text me daily, not with scripture, but with memories of our nights. He told me he couldn't forget the way I looked under the Garden District lights. He offered to support me, to send money to help with my mother's recovery. I told myself I wouldn't touch a cent of his blood money, but the city is expensive, and my mother's meds were draining me. Then the notification would chime, and the balance in my account would grow. I tried to be the daughter my mother deserved, but Julian, he was a shadow I couldn't shake. One humid evening, I found myself walking into a neon-lit motel room on the outskirts of the city. He was there, waiting in the dim light. He had just finished a funeral service. He didn't say a word about God or redemption. He just took off his cross and put it on the nightstand next to his car keys. I felt the old shame wrap around me like a wet shroud, but I also felt the cold power I held over him. We weren't praying. We were drowning together in the same old pool of sin. Now the cycle is complete, and the mask is permanent. Every Tuesday, the attorney meets the caregiver in a room that doesn't exist to the world. Every Saturday, the escort sits in the pews and listens to the prophet preach about the evils of the flesh and the fire of hell. He sends me money regularly, always calling it charity or mission support in the memo line of the app. We both know it's hush money. We both know it's the price he pays to keep his perfect family happy and my mother's life comfortable. I look at my mother's face during his sermons. She is so full of light, so sure of his holiness. It breaks my heart into 1,000 jagged pieces. I want to stand up and scream the truth until the stained glass shatters. I want to tell them about the motel, about Chloe, about the darkness that lives behind his smile. But then I think of the hip surgery, the food on our table, and the words die in my throat. I've become the executive producer of the greatest lie in New Orleans. The city of New Orleans doesn't believe in clean slates. It just believes in better hiding spots under the moss. I sit in the back row now, a silent witness to a masterpiece of hypocrisy. I watch Julian smile at the children and bless the elderly with hands that I know too well. He is a master of the double life, a man who has successfully bifurcated his soul. He has his wife, his children, his reputation, and he has me, the living proof of his depravity. He thinks he's safe because he pays me. He thinks the money washes away the memory. But every time our eyes meet during the final benediction, I see the terror flickering in him. He is a prisoner of my silence, and I am a prisoner of his gold. We are two souls linked by a debt that even the blood of the altar won't cover. I am the shadow that walks behind the prophet, and I know that one day the swamp will rise to claim us both. It's been a year since I first saw him in that pulpit. I've stopped looking for someone special. I've stopped believing in the fairy tale of the white picket fence and a love that is pure. The city has claimed me again, just in a different, more respectable way. I am the other woman to a man of God. I am the secret that walks among the saints. I sit in the back row, and as the choir sings their songs of joy, I realize that maybe I was born for this role, to be the mirror that shows the city its own hidden filth. Julian leads the prayer, and I keep the count of the sins. I lost my dream of a family in the Garden District, but I found my place in the dark. In New Orleans, the bells don't just ring for the saved, they ring for the sinners who found a way to make the darkness feel like home. And Jair, or Julian, he knows that as long as I am in the audience, his performance will never truly end. And that is the final entry from Tiana's archive, a story of a sanctuary that became a prison and a pastor who found his true pulpit in the flickering shadows of a motel room. It leaves a cold shiver in the marrow of the bone, doesn't it? To see how easily the holy can become the fallen when the lights go out and the money is right. If Tiana's journey through the double lives of New Orleans has stayed with you, please leave a like on this video and subscribe to our channel. Help us continue to unbox these unspoken truths from the secrets inbox. But now I want to turn this over to you, my confidential listeners. Is Tiana's silence a form of mercy for her mother, or has she become just as guilty as the man in the white robe? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Because in a city built on the bones of the dead, the only thing more dangerous than a sinner is a saint with a secret he's willing to pay for. Until next time, stay safe and keep your secrets close. Good night.